What is up, everybody? VanzAir of VanzAir here at Sun and Fun on mission with Sun and Fun Radio. Come on, we have an intro here. We just let the beauty of the plane just ooze into the area. And then we got a formation flying overhead. That's what we end up hearing here. I'll let both of you introduce yourselves.
Okay, we'll start with Huggy. I'm Huggy.
Awesome. All right. And
I'm one of the instructors in the T-38 and the U-2 up at Beale Air Force Base in the 1st Reconnaissance Squadron, the oldest flying squadron in the U.S. military.
And I'm Nova, so I'll fly the U-2 and T-38 as well.
Awesome. So, generally, what is the mission profile for this plane? What is it generally used for?
So this is the companion trainer for the U-2 program. So U-2 pilots, we still need a lot of our instrument training and airmanship, all that kind of stuff. So to use the U-2 for all that stuff all the time would be quite a strain on resources. So the companion trainer allows us to continue to keep our airmanship skills sharp and do our instrument training with the T-38.
Is this a route? So that's kind of in the lineage for that. How would somebody start on that trajectory to say they wanted to fly in this one or fly in the U-2?
Well, if you want to fly in the T-38, if you go through pilot training and you get to fighters, go to fighter aircraft, you will fly the T-38 for about 6 to 7, 8 months, I believe. But if you want to come to the U-2, it's a little bit different process. You've got to go fly something for a full tour in the Air Force, good 3 or 4 years, build up, roughly 1,000 hours. It varies a little bit. And then if you've got the desire, it's an all-volunteer program. You submit an application. We've got an interview process. If you're selected for the interview, it lasts about 10 calendar days. And you come on out, and you actually get to fly the U-2 during the process. Don't fly the 38, but you fly the U-2. Almost sight unseen. We actually will have a lot of briefing. And based on your performance on that, we decide if you're going to be trainable within the constraints of our syllabus. And that's it in a very, very short nutshell. But it's an all-volunteer program. And historically, we've taken about 16 pilots a year. We're taking even fewer than that right now. But if it works for you, it is a great career path.
Awesome. All right. With our beautiful plane, let's talk a little specs, the general specs. What is the specs of this plane? Horsepower, payload, useful load, maybe not payload. What?
Payload, one toothbrush.
Yeah, about 6,000 pounds of thrust on these J85 afterburning engines. Same engine that was in the original Lear 23, F5, A37, the Navy's T2. They had the J85 also. Very, very old engine, very, very reliable engine, very, very good engine.
What type? What's the engine?
J85. Yeah, like the CJ610.
Yeah. What is the fuel burn for it?
So typically in cruise, we're burning about 2,000 pounds an hour.
Only 2,000.
So only 2,000. But in afterburner, our fuel flow gauges don't even record in afterburner, so you just watch your fuel gauge.
Oh, wow. What is the highest you've taken in the plane? What's the highest you guys do?
I've never gone above 39. I know plenty of folks that have been. When I was a student, I had a few instructors that were from the Vietnam era that had this over 50,000 feet.
But also remember, we're U-2 pilots, so anything below 70 is low altitude.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
So for each of you, what motivated you into aviation, and how did you end up where you are now? Like, kind of, what was your story?
I grew up right next door to NASA in Houston, so all of my neighbors were involved in the space program, either astronauts, mission controllers. My dad was an engineer of the space program, and I don't know, I guess I kind of got the bug somehow by that, but by the time I was 8 years old, I decided I wanted to somehow get into flying, and here I am.
I almost kind of think about it like when did I grow out of it? And I haven't yet. I think most kids like, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? And you're like pilot, and then at some point they learn like, maybe I should do something responsible with my life. And I haven't done that yet. But it definitely cemented it in. My grandpa ended up getting an airplane, getting his pilot's license, and so getting exposed to that early. And then a couple air shows when I was a little kid, and I was hooked. So I knew that's what I wanted to do. Had to figure out how to do it. Grew up in a small town in Eastern Oregon, there weren't a lot of resources, so I kind of had to find my own way into that. Ended up getting my pilot's license when I was 17, and then went to the Air Force Academy to try and pursue this path, and somehow ended up here through a winding path of aviation.
So your path. So when you came into the Air Force, was it hard to get either a slot for this one, or is it a high? Like, what was your process, or how many people did you have to kind of test over in order to fly one of these instead of some of the other aircraft?
To get the pilot training is competitive. You can go through ROTC like I did, the Academy, or even through OTS. But you're gonna be scored. It's gonna be competitive, and I competed well, and I had really good grades, and I did well in ROTC. Nova, probably the same thing for him. I mean, he excelled in things he did when he was in school, and it worked out. At our time, they had a fair number of people going to pilot training, and I made the cut, and off to the races.
What are some of the other roles? Because, I mean, it's more than one person that keeps this bird in the air. So what are some of the other support roles that you see around this operation?
Oh my gosh, life support. I mean, to list it all and think that we could capture it all of what makes this happen. I mean, it's massive. When we talk about, the Air Force in general is quite large, right? And I mean, there's the stuff that directly affects us is the stuff that we think about. We have our life support people. We have the people putting gas in it, right? The maintainers, obviously, just like that we put our lives into their hands, with complete trust. Those are all that immediate effect, but somebody's still got to pay for this, and they start to program for it. And I mean, there's a long tail behind being able to sit in this and fly, and a lot of jobs that are really behind the scenes that I probably don't even know about, that make this happen. So it's tough to list them all, and it's tough to kind of quantify that. But
we've met lots of people in our Air Force career that's like, hey, this is a cool airplane. I never want to be a pilot. What I want to do is get to the maintenance side or the engineering or different aspects of it. So, like Nova said, there's a lot of different avenues you can go on. Even if you don't want to be in the cockpit flying the aircraft, there's a lot you can do.
All right. There's one question I love to ask. Think about your 10-year-old self. If there's your 10-year-old self coming in something fun, what would you tell them? They haven't even said anything. They're just staring.
Well, I think actually, I think we might have even talked about this on the flight down here. But 10-year-old me would be stoked about me right now. I'm still stoked about it. I am absolutely, I feel so privileged to be here, so lucky to be here. I try to make sure I pinch myself. I do think I've got the coolest job in the world. I really do believe that. To tell that 10-year-old self, one, don't give up, keep at it, keep that dream alive. And that's what I would tell them right now is just probably try and kind of build that joke, kind of keep the excitement out there for them because it is a cool job. It is a cool career. And, kind of reminding them of that. As other life distractors are going to take you in different directions, this one, it isn't easy to get here. As Huggy alluded to, you're always competing. And that comes with a lot of, you don't win every day, right? And so you have to be able to get knocked down and keep coming back, and get knocked down and keep coming back to get here, and be able to have that resilience, but have a goal, and relentlessly pursue that goal. That's how you get here, I think.
Fortune, that's my phrase I like is fortune favors the prepared. Everybody, people go, oh, you got so lucky, or this happened, this fell in your lap. Yeah, it was an overnight success, 20 years in the making, People don't see it, so I would tell my 10-year-old self, hey, it's not going to happen overnight. Just stay with the program, stay with the process, keep doing what you do best, and it will happen.
All right, last question. So this one is around, I can't imagine that it's an easy road to get to where you are now. And sometimes, as Homo sapiens, as humans, we do make mistakes. So what are some of the tips you may have or around some of the mistakes that you have made on this one, or something you would have done differently Like, hey, I would have studied this differently, or instead of doing, writing everything down, do flashcards, or instead of, I might have added another study process or something like that. Something around those lines, around either that could have helped you avoid a mistake or something like that.
One of the things we do really well is when we make mistakes, we debrief it. So I would tell myself, don't beat yourself up for a short period of time, but to focus on the debrief and why did I make that mistake. You will learn so much if you can break down why you made the mistake.
Yep, and being able to accept feedback, being able to accept that you did make that mistake and figure out how to overcome that, and then how to come back better next time. Also, like I think you kind of said, like learning better. When I went to the Air Force Academy, my first semester there, they said you might not be smart enough to be here, and I had to go to a class, and they basically retaught me to read and retaught me to learn. And then I ended up graduating with some academic honors. So that really helped me out, as well as like learning how to study and learning what's important, what's not important, because this path is a lot of rote memorization and a lot of being able to take lessons you learned somewhere else and apply them, to something different. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Nova. Thank you for your time. Hey, guys. And remember, evolve the life you're in. You can be happy where you are and evolve it into something better. Thanks, guys.